100%.
We are live. The audio is working. I hear myself. I hear you guys. It works. Yay! It's recording. It's happening. This will actually be an episode that'll go up, not like the other two that we completely missed. Hello, YouTube. You've missed the last two episodes because of audio issues. I am so sorry. But we are going to recap, to the best of our ability, what happened last time with our dear adventurers. The last time the YouTubes have seen us, I believe we were just arriving at Nomergon. It's not Nomergon, but it's a gnome city that starts with Gnome. Nomengard.
Or Nomengrad, as
Nomen-
more popularly circulated.
Can you imagine
Nomengrad.
if all of our cities were named like Human Town?
Human Town. Human Guard. That's great. I love it. But that is the last time that they saw us would have been just before we even entered in. So we're gonna do a quick popcorn around, and you guys can detail as much as you want or be as brief as you want. Just make sure you have enough left over to popcorn another person, so everybody gets a shot to kind of detail some stuff. So we will begin with whoever rolls the highest d20.
Oh, great.
Okay. Let's see.
Oh no!
Speaking of,
7.
Mm-hmm. Very nice. Very nice. All right, Kristen.
That is quite the modifier.
Kristen, you may begin.
This is perfect.
With-
I rolled a 1d1, guys.
With 100,004. With 100,004, you've definitely gotten the highest number on a d20.
Josh didn't even roll. We don't even know. Okay, Josh.
Shit. 2 episodes ago. Wow, I was really drunk in the last episode, so let's see what I can remember.
You don't gotta go that far. We're starting just before we made it, before we even stepped up onto Nomengard.
So we went, not to drag things out until because I would never look at notes or anything, especially someone else's notes. I'm responsible enough for my
Yeah, Kristen, I know you take.
She deals with cheating all the time. I mean, she's very against cheating in her classroom, so.
And
very
taking
against
notes.
cheating.
And taking notes.
And
They're very.
taking notes. I get to memorize everything I say. So, forever ago, when we first entered Nomengarad, name still up in the air.
Yeah.
Things were awkward when we first started. Like, we were not treated well.
Correct.
Oh, okay. There we go. Here we are. Okay. We were welcomed, and we were welcomed hospitably enough, but when they were talking to each other in their language, which I think I understood, but I don't remember what language that was. Anyways. No. Someone else did. No. God, I'm so dumb. Anyways, so they're talking to themselves in Gnomish, and they discussed about how they had to keep eyes on us, which immediately a few of us smarter people in the party were like, we don't like to feel like prisoner, which is understandable. Other dumb people in the party were saying how we just need to be patient.
We need to respect the police, and that the police are always right, and they're totally not.
Oh boy!
Right?
Don't
And
even.
it's like,
topical.
Don't be bringing that here.
That wasn't me. That wasn't me.
So we were told to wait, but then we got an interesting guest who came with interesting news. So now I will popcorn for the interesting guest and news.
No popcorn,
Okay.
no one.
Popcorn. Goodbye.
And the popcorn.
You're gonna have to move her back.
Okay.
The popcorn. The popcorn.
I will bring her back in. Okay.
No longer.
And we're gonna popcorn Kristen right out of the voice call.
No longer will this popcorn go on pop. Ice cold.
I tried to get out of the note, re-enter the room, and it went, no, you gotta wait. And I was like, damn it. So, anyways, we got an interesting guest with interesting news. So, popcorn Michaela for the news.
Yeah, so the interesting person with the interesting news was Fibblestip and Deebled Up. Feeblestep, who is an older gnome who's pretty much now in charge of this town because the king, the leader of this town is locked up with his husband in this room because they're scared because there's some strange things happening in this town. There are being kidnappings. Kidnappings. Yes, gnome nappings, because only gnomes have gone missing. And they
Gnome
think,
nappings. Yes.
and with that, we also need some help from them, but because they're so terrified, they will not help us at this moment. So we're like, hey, we can offer our services to figure out this mystery out if you then give us some contraptions that can help our dear town that we came from, that has a name, that we are helping to bring back some contraptions to help against our dear dragon, the white one.
Multicultural town. That's the one we're
Yeah.
from.
That's
Lots
the name.
of
Yes.
lots of creatures. So
Surprisingly, it's all elves, but it's called multicultural town.
Multicultural. Nice.
I heard a
we are not
manticore like walked in and just left with someone. No big deal.
This is Tuesday. So we promise we'll if we figure out who is doing these kidnappings, they will give us some gifts or like something back in return. So now we're going into the last scene of the crime, which was in a wine cellar somewhere deep, deep down. And I will popcorn to Josh.
Thank God.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Yes.
We were escorted to a most suspicious wooden door. We all knew it was going to be bad news. A wooden door down a long hallway that no one's in is very suspicious, yeah, for sure. And he didn't even want to open the door. We had to convince him to open the door.
It's because he's the
And
murderer.
yeah, so he let us in, the guard did, and he basically gave us very comforting parting words that if we were in trouble to knock and he would allow us to escape. So that's pretty cool of him, I guess. That's great. Totally sets the tone for what was about to happen.
Was it a special knock? I can't remember.
I don't think so. I think it was bang
So it's
frantically in the
anybody
door
can
until
out?
you're let out. So
Monster,
we
please.
stepped into darkness, very dark darkness. It actually choked light, which is great, and tried to light our way, because that went well. We kind
I believe it was advanced darkness. is
it
what
was
we-
advanced darkness.
Advanced
yeah,
darkness.
advanced darkness.
Tasty. So
Made our way to we finally stumbled on a room, and it looked like an abandoned library. Someone had a struggle in there or had escaped after we poked everything and slid some bookshelves around and pushed bookshelves on some other people and shouted very loudly several times.
Yeah. We
So
are
that was
here.
cool. And then we decided to leave the room, at which point the party got separated. That's where I'm at Popcorn Tom.
So this is also the part in the story where I was really drunk.
Okay.
You can always
My
send it
memory.
over to
I
me.
barely remember it.
I remember I fucked up.
You can reverse
yeah,
it to someone else. Or...
separated.
Go ahead.
Piper and Sneeze were hanging out, and Pollen and Kalik were hanging out, and Yulva
Got ditched.
got, we're not gonna go into what happened. Bad things happened to Yulva, apparently. Left behind until our true protagonists of the story, Sneeze and Piper, came across a Yulva in need, who was cold and afraid, who we
is.
comforted and armed, because that's what you do when somebody's afraid of the darkness. You give them something to fight it with. Because she also didn't have any of her shit. Eventually, we all reunited, I remember.
Mm-hmm.
There was some weird shit going on with Pollen and Kalik. I don't remember at all what it was.
Are we?
Feel free to-
Piper and Sneeze are no longer with the party. I thought we
Yeah.
were down someplace.
You guys
So
ran
we
ahead,
all
yeah.
reunited. I
after
gave
everyone
our
got together.
information to Yilva, and then we just pieced out because Yilva was afraid of the darkness. We were like, yeah, let's not go further.
Let's
And then
go
we're
deeper in.
"Oh, we're going deeper. We just left. Is that how that?
Split.
Is that how that happened?
Yep.
Yeah, you guys were like, fuck it, we're not
Really?
leaving.
Yeah,
Right
I
in the
do
dark, and
remember
we're
yelling,
like,
"Split
"Oh,
the
man."
party!"
And then
Woo.
There's
We
been a
do.
so
split.
we told don't know where the party's at, so we left.
And now Yilva is just hanging out with Pollen and Kalik, and Yilva's totally not. This is totally the real Yilva the whole time.
Popcorn
Totally.
Kalik! Popcorn Kalik!
Popcorn Kalik.
All right, I will be Kalik, and by Kalik I mean me. So the only two pieces I believe that are worth mentioning that I believe are missing are the town was attacked by Cryovane the dragon before the party was able to even get in. They almost drew the ire of the creature, but the gnome defenses did a good job in warding the thing away before it could cause any more damage or kill our party, thankfully. The other thing is, before the party went down into the wine cellars to solve the mystery of the missing gnomes of Nomengard, our party decided to leave behind one Shanjan, the current NPC.
That's right. He decided
party.
he didn't want to go.
He has stayed behind to keep a watch on the door with the gnome guard, who I believe does have a name, but I don't currently have it up.
If we get out before them, we could kill him.
Yes, our final scene of the adventure was our party sort of splitting up. We had Piper and Sneeze going deeper in, still wanting to find out, what was causing these disappearances, wanting to delve deeper, being quite brave. They're used to this, dungeon life from their past together. And then there is, oh boy. Yeah, and then I'll finish this scene, but there's something else very key that I have to explain, because everyone's going to be very confused why Tom is here and why Tom is playing a character named Sneeze they know nothing about. So I'll get into that I'll get that into that in just a second. So yes, the party had split. Sneeze and his friend Piper going deeper in, and both Pollen, Yilva, and Kalik deciding that retreat would be a better option. The two parties, not exactly always in the same terms on things, decided it would be better to split off here. On the way back to exiting the wine cellars, Yilva, Pollen, and Kalik could hear a sound coming from the library, one familiar to them that they had heard before, a creaking of the shelves being pushed on the rails that they're sort of sitting on. And as they passed that room, not wanting to engage with whatever was causing that noise that they assuredly believed couldn't really be caused anymore without something being in there, they were sort of called out by a familiar voice, and they saw Yilva, their friend, step out of it. Two Yilvas in the situation, and as they turned to the Yilva that was with them, the one that came crawling out of the dark to meet Sneeze and Piper, the one that got separated from the party, they see their eyes shift a yellow color, their mouth grin with a toothy smile, an imposter among them, and that was where we left off.
And Pollen's wet dream ended abruptly there.
Our dear friend Sneeze was introduced in 2 episodes ago as a old companion of Piper. I'll give you a chance to sort of explain your character just a little bit here, Tom, since YouTube knows nothing about our dear Sneeze.
We could use a refresher. Anyway,
yeah, you could give us just a brief of Sneeze.
Sneeze is Sneeze is a kobold bard. They used to run some dungeons for some dragons. Worked as a dungeon bouncer, essentially. Worked with Piper. Came here to work with Cryovane, but Cryovane didn't really want to work with Sneeze. So Sneeze has been inducted into this party, to much of the party's chagrin, except for Piper.
He's the best member of the party.
But Sneeze plays drums. He's got some drums around his neck that he's always banging on, and rides on Piper's shoulder, because I had a fun idea. I had a fun time with that on my other goblin character for like the 2 seconds before I betrayed the party.
Yeah. So we're doing it again. I love it.
Oh my God.
So
yeah,
no, that makes sense. So Sneeze joined us just outside of Nomengard before our party stepped in after their engagement with the dragon. We are picking up pretty much right where we left off. Our scene opens on a dark hallway.
No.
Looking down it, we see it just goes into just into the depths of the abyss, effectively. But we hear what sounds like footsteps coming from further down, and making their way into our frame. We see a big, burly bugbear atop their shoulders, atop their shoulders behind them. Is one small kobold nursing a pair of drums, and I think we get that sort of like the little hero shot where you guys kind of come up and just look around, like, you know, you don't have a torch because you don't need it, but this is like dungeon delving, and we start on Piper and Sneeze. You guys have been moving through these halls separated from your party from for a good while now. You've been going deeper and deeper, probably about maybe an hour. You're not sure.
Oh wow.
Oh shit.
As
about an hour ago.
As you've been
That's a
sort
long
of
time.
pushing into the chambers of this area, and you've finally kind of found the end of the line, effectively. Searching many of the different chambers, you did notice that within, not everyone, but within many, a missing object was always ever present. At least one thing that you would expect there to be multiple. It seems as though at least one of them was missing from whatever sconce, whatever set in the floor that it once was. Seems to be a theme of some kind. But you finally found...
My friend was never missing.
There you go.
Yeah.
You finally found the last chamber of this dark complex of corridors down deep below Nomengard. And as you approach it, you can smell the scent come from the room, a very potent scent of wine come from beyond. And your dark vision would allow you enough sight to see within this chamber of stacked on racks upon racks are these massive barrels, corked, large. On the inside they have huge iron bands around them, and the wood itself looks to be quite well varnished and well maintained as well. But something else to note of this chamber, you hear what sounds like echoing within a drip. Just a drip, drip, and it just echoes. And it's the only sort of audible sound you can hear. This chamber is quite vast. You're 60 feet, can't see the back of the room quite as well. The ceiling's quite high as well. Your 60 feet of dark vision probably just makes it to the top to be able to see that. Big chamber holds a lot of casks. What do you guys do? You've been dungeon delving for a while now.
Can we tell where the drip is coming from?
Make a perception check.
I am very perceptive, let me tell you.
Yeah.
A lot of people said, Sneeze, how do you be so perceptive with your 69?
16. From this sort of entrance, to the chamber, it seems to kind of curl out from different points of the room. The echoing off the walls doesn't give you an exact direction. Definitely deeper within, not closer. Further in for sure, but the way it's echoing doesn't really give you a great perception. For you, Piper, it could be anything. You don't know where that drip is coming from. It's just an audible ambience to this chamber.
Look
Wait.
around, does it have a thing, and I'm like, huh, and that's it. Just
I'll remind you that you have searched every room. This is the last one.
That's where the bodies are gonna
I'd say, well, Piper, it sounds like that drip's coming from farther down in this chamber. I dare say I think it's a trap myself, but
the lip is a trap, or further, this chamber is a trap.
maybe both. Listen, I ain't drink much, Piper, but them some wine barrels over there. If you want to partake, you're more than welcome.
Wait,
What, Piper?
where?
What?
Where?
Don't worry about it, Piper. Don't worry about
But
it.
you said that I'm always open for the wine. Like, I do enjoy a sip or two.
All right, then
Problem. I haven't.
something like
That doesn't control my life, if you're asking.
Since I'm like perched on Piper's shoulder like a cat, essentially like a cat gargoyle. I'm like 2 feet tall. I like kind of just grab Piper's head, Ratatouille style, and like direct Piper towards.
Then I immediately walk, so it's like always head first. You're like
Grabbing the hair. You're doing the puppet with the hair.
I'm like,
head
I think
in
it's
the
over there,
direction I'm
Piper. I think, I hope our friends get here soon. I know they were a little afraid of the dog, but I'm sure they'll come around.
Oh, they're probably pathetically rap-a-tapping upon the wooded door.
Rap-a-tapping. Rap-a-tapping.
Rapping on the door.
play on
They
the
will
drums
reach
a
this
little
nevermore.
You could only assume with the passage of time, your friends have by now left this chamber. Left this underground area. You are a good distance away from them. You imagine if there was light, your travels would have been faster, but even with dark vision, you've had to spend a good amount of time investigating rooms down here.
We can't spend our time wasting our time on hoping they'll get the courage one day.
That's true. Now, if I remember correctly, we said we would not wreck any things that did not need to be wrecked.
But this casket smells pre-wrecked, right?
It's coming right for you, Piper. You better
Oh my
defend
gosh,
yourself.
Just destroyed
Oh.
and then reassessed.
I know this monster. It can only be defeated by emptying its bowels
Emptying the bowels.
and drinking.
Just
all that,
echoes.
so you get through that.
Bowels.
You get to that, Viper. Listen, I think we both know we're all about to die soon. But, so let's enjoy that wine while we can.
I mean, we passed every trap. Like, this dungeon was poorly built.
Terrible dungeon. So if,
It's like, what, is there a doppelganger around here to make things difficult? Like,
I know, right?
really?
And if I know, listen, I've seen some terrible dungeon design in my day. If I know that they put all the bad shit right at the end of the dungeon, they didn't sprinkle it around or anything, alright? I know all the baddies waiting for us at the end, which I think is right at the end of this room, actually, where that drip is coming from. So let's take our time before we go over there.
Drunk. That way it hurts less when the spikes come out. But
Perfect.
this chest, this wizarding chest. This is a chest that can handle.
Yeah, you know, just if you got the spells cast away, I say. I already did.
Oh, do you need protection against good or evil? Because then you'll have protection against me, because this spell is stupid, and whoever gave it to me.
My bad, Piper. I was trying to help you out with that one.
Oh, yeah, you're good. Okay, that's fine. Don't worry, I have to spell friends in case I couldn't make any on my own. So.
Which, it's really just, I think you needed that because you're so great at making friends that people would need to look at it as a justification for how to have
Yeah, well,
somebody
if
friends.
I disguise myself, it's easier to make friends. Oh,
But hey, you can't talk shit about illusory script, though, right? Like, we all love
no,
illusory
it's the
script.
only way we can communicate
most
without
useful.
worrying about the idiots. So I do like that.
All right, well, let's get to drinking. Not
Yeah.
me, though. I don't drink.
Before this manly chest takes a spike.
I weigh like 15 pounds. I ain't drinking.
There, don't worry, I will empty the bowels again.
You
Bowels,
guys pop one of the corks.
Yeah.
Yes, totally.
Okay. Do you have any like utensils you think on you to like be able to drink,
I
or
have
you just coming right out of the
I'll
tap?
cut this shit in half and drink.
Yeah. I was gonna say I have cook's utensils if there's
That
like
would work. Yeah, you can
Yeah.
fill. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah,
Okay,
the
I'll
wine.
continue anyway.
The wine.
You like just chopping it open and just shotgunning it and shotgunning it.
You're definitely looking. You definitely have like a black and white view in the sort of dark vision that you're looking through. But as you sort of pour out the liquid, it comes through quite viscous, quite thick. And you can smell. It's definitely potent with alcohol. But it gives
Somebody's made me this drink.
it gives the
before.
look and consistency of blood that makes it feel like sort of it's playing a trick on your eyes as it comes out. But as you lift it to your mouth, you can definitely smell the sweet scent of wine.
I take a huge gulp because I'd rather know if it's blood or not through taste than anything.
Yeah,
any
I
other
mean,
kind.
if it is blood,
You
let me
can't
know. I
always
want some
trust
too.
your eyes. So I take a giant gulp, like just downing it entirely, filling my mouth, gulping that, and then taking another gulp before I go for a breath of air.
Yeah. Make a Constitution saving throw for me, Piper and Sneeze. If you're both taking part here.
Here it comes.
Sneeze, you weren't drinking any?
No, I don't drink alcohol, but if it was blood and I knew it was blood, I'd drink some. But I'm waiting for Piper to inform me.
Piper.
Does it taste like blood?
It doesn't. It tastes like a very sweet
Definitely.
flavor of wine, though its consistency and sort of texture to the taste isn't what you're normally used to.
Barefoot.
This gnomish vine is so bad.
It affects you in a way that many drinks don't. You immediately feel the tips of your fingers begin to go numb along with your toes as well. You get a sense that whatever direction you kind of lean into feels comfortable, and you may be leaned too far, have to be recorrected and then lean too far in the opposite direction. The room itself seems as if it is on some sort of motor, slowly turning and pushing back and forth. And
It's well
you... Yeah, there's kind of a moment, Piper, where you're kind of looking around, trying to focus, looking over to your friend Sneeze, and Sneeze takes a moment to sort of come into play. You see sort of after images of him as he focuses in, but at the same time, you feel like you, and you're being affected by alcohol right now, but you feel like you see shadows moving behind him.
God damn it. Frank, don't give me shadows.
See, you is still. You're disorienting. Let's go for the spikes. I don't know if I'll feel it anymore.
Sneeze, what do you do in response to this? You can see Piper doing these
So
big
I'm like, if
leans.
Piper's wave, I'm on Piper's shoulder, so I'm like...
Oh, you're on
Like,
Piper's shoulder.
There's the drips.
Yeah.
Oh,
So
I didn't.
it's like
I
a
forgot
roller
about
coaster
that.
over
Yeah,
here.
perspective. I was imagining you on the ground in that scenario. Then I don't know what you would go to focus on. I think you do just sort of see some shadows move around. But like, yeah, Sneeze, you're
Walk to one of the shadows that I see, where like I'll take 2 steps towards the shadows, not like hunt it down, but walk to it and be like, Sneeze, where's the drips coming from? And then
Sneeze?
suddenly I'll feel him on my shoulder and be like, oh, where's the drips coming from?
Be like, now this right here, this is why I don't drink. That's just what I wanted to say.
It's not bad.
Listen, I don't know what they got in that gnome and stuff, but
It's better than I
Gnomish? Not
expected of
gnomish.
gnomes. They be weak shit.
Piper,
but
you're
they-
getting white girl wasted right now. Unless like you're beyond the or you're swaying. If you had heels on, you'd crack them heels in an instant.
So I imagine Piper's doing a little bit of a wandering walk here, right?
Yeah, we're wandering towards my desk.
Yeah. So Sneeze, you're on Piper's shoulders, so your perspective in this situation is definitely different. But Piper, you the barrels are built in these rows, and at this point, you're trying to talk to Sneeze. You're kind of moving around, shifting in sort of large, vast steps, sort of bumping into stuff. I would like Piper to make a perception check with disadvantage, and Sneeze to just make a regular perception
Well, with
check.
a -2, I think I already have disadvantage.
Yeah.
Doing the
Actually,
drunk,
but
doing the
okay.
drunk cop thing.
As we all knew, no. Sneezes 3 whole perceptions.
Oh.
You are far too distracted by the situation of your friend. Wonderful. I love this.
Well, no, if we add them together, it's still 3.
No, this is great. This
3
is
and
great.
a 5 if we add them together. Oh, I'm sorry, I had disadvantage. 3 and 0. You're right. Adding together is still a fumble.
So,
Oh my god.
as Piper's sort of he's just sort of moving there, you're completely distracted by the movement. You're trying trying to navigate this situation. You can't really feel your legs. You couldn't feel your legs much anymore, Piper. They're very wobbly, but you suddenly do feel them. You feel your left thigh, and it starts to sort of, the Pringles start to go away, and then you start to feel a very, very sharp pain.
Nope, we found the spikes.
I've got the tingles, but it hurts.
I would
No,
like you
might
to
wanna be a
take.
doctor
I would
about
like
that.
you to take 4 points of damage, Piper, to your character, as you look down and you see a large kitchen knife going right through the thick of the muscle of your thigh, and it's piercing.
I pull it out.
Your blood
your
follows
point.
like a fountain.
I pull it out and I'll go, Sneeze, if you're upset, you can talk to me.
Popper,
then I
I'm
look
up
at the
here.
shadows.
Popper, you can't go jamming perfectly good dinner knives right in your own legs, all right? You got to keep those safe. All right, here, give me that. Give me that.
Sneeze,
Give me that knife.
I'm gonna wave at a shadow near me. Is it corporeal?
The shadows that were moving around you, they were kind of, it's like shifting in the distance. You could see them like sort of moving behind the racks of barrels. Nothing close to you, like shadows dancing right in front of you, but it's very much edge of your vision, far on the back of the rooms, the walls sort of shifting around, and just sort of the what barely any light is able to sort of perceive from your dark vision casts this kind of odd look where you feel like things are moving. But as you're kind of like looking around to feel a corporal shadow, you immediately feel that tingling, that numbing sensation that was once in your arm begin to dissipate as well. And when you look down, you see another knife protruding from your bicep, going all the way up.
Wizard, okay? I know I'm pretty straight.
Take two more points of damage for
You're
me.
a wizard, Piper.
Please apply them to your token if you can.
I go, oh no.
All right, Piper, let's take a second. It looks like we're being assailed by some unknown threat.
As you say that, Sneeze.
I'm like, take this, buddy. I need to get the other knife.
As you say that, Sneeze, you immediately feel a sharp, sharp pinch in your tail.
Yeah.
My tail.
I would like you to take 2 points of damage as you hear behind you, being someone who does have some level of perception in this situation, and you feel a plunge into your tail. You look, and there is a knife protruding from it. But go ahead and apply 2 points of damage to your character sheet. I would like you guys to roll initiative as our scene shifts over back to our friends. Who I would
roll more than a 10 today. I have a 5 in initiative, and I rolled a 9.
No.
Fuck you!
Look
How
at that,
much do you have
20.
initiative?
I get +4.
I
Very
have more
nice.
initiative than you dick!
I would like
That's because
for
you're a battle wizard. You get to add your intelligence to it.
I mean, to roll above a 10 today. Yeah,
I would like for Yilva and Pollen to roll initiative as well.
Okay.
Hey,
13.
hey.
Yes.
I'm going to rob you before you die, just so you know.
Yeah, I'll put you
Kristen.
in.
I'm getting ready.
And then I'm going to
everything.
run.
You're gonna find nothing, dick.
You haven't gotten anything since the last time.
Besides a great sword you can't carry, asshole.
Dragging it on.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
Well, I don't have a sword
Last
anymore.
time you robbed me, I haven't recovered. You're fucked.
Oh my goodness.
It's okay. I know vicious mockery, guys. I'm just gonna make fun of the darkness.
He's just
We're
gonna
fine.
In this situation, Sneeze, I'm just gonna pull you down here and consider that you are ahead of Piper for the sake of scenes, if that's okay with you.
As long as I'm ahead of Piper.
You are the
it's
top
like-
initiative of your scene. So,
Look at firm middle finger there. That was aggressive. Holy shit.
Firm middle.
Pollen, Yilva, and
Kalik is
Kalik,
there.
we left you.
Is he there?
He's there. He's there. We left
Were you
you.
thinking, like,
Yeah, we left you in this scenario as these eyes shift over. You see the figure as its smile just curls open, and it immediately looks down at you, Pollen. A very
It's gonna
delicious.
one-shot all
It's just
snack.
surprise round. Oh my god. Oh no.
Please, one-shot Pollen every time.
Pollen.
You're the one who's the most outstretched like friend. Come
Pollen,
on.
you do go first in this scenario. I just wanted you to know
Oh shit.
of the threat of the scenario. It is looking down at you with hungry eyes.
Surprise round.
Okay, I see Yurva.
It looks like Yilva with yellow eyes and sharp teeth.
Well, she never smiles at me, and I will just say, guiding bolt at this creature.
All right.
Yes.
You'll be at disadvantage if you're right next to him.
It's just a reflex. I'm like,
Guided into their face.
Roll a 1d2. I want to see if you are close. If you're at a 1, you are.
1d2. How do I roll?
Just
A
slash
1d2.
roll 1d2.
Oh yeah, that's true. I don't know.
Slash 1.
No, slash
I
R.
just
Slash R slash roll. It's up to you.
Slash R.
Space.
Sorry,
Space.
guys.
You're good.
D2.
Slash
Yep.
R space D2.
Yes.
Nope.
Nope.
Wait,
It's slash
do it?
roll 1d2.
It looks like what.
I did it
You
one
are
hit.
in melee, so you will be rolling with a disadvantage. But I don't think you'll need to. An 11 is not enough to do what you need to do here.
It makes sense.
So you blast out the light, and as it sort of shines in this room, lighting the area around you in a brilliant flash of magic, you go to strike, and when it fizzles, the creature's no longer there, at least to your vision, Pollen. Yilva, you are, I think, a little further away from the situation since you just ran out of a room looking for your friends. You've been searching for them for hours now, and they have finally appeared, but to your surprise, you were with them, and you immediately start to piece together that this isn't good. As you see this creature's eyes change, its teeth change, Pollen goes for a flash, and this thing moves with a speed. It shifts into the floor, and it is now directly behind Pollen. Pollen, your flash ends. It's no longer in front of you. I think that was your turn, right?
Yeah, I don't think I have bonus actions.
Nope.
At least I don't believe I
Okay.
do. Yeah, I'm nimble. That's
Okay.
all I can say.
Well, let's hope you are nimble in this scenario.
one shot. You got to do something in combat though. That's a first, right?
Oh my god.
Like that. Yeah.
Yep. We see as its mouth opens behind you, Pollen, its jaw unhinges and it begins to stretch to fit the size of its meal. And it's at this point a very deformed version of Yilva, parts of her melting away, not fully fit. After shifting to the floor, you see pieces of cobblestone within it as well. This monstrous creature opens its maw to feast. And yeah, it's it does an 18 hit you.
No.
You're gonna die.
It does
You
every
take
damage.
9 piercing damage
Okay. Good.
and 4 acid damage.
That's exactly her HP.
As
How
it
only have 13 HP? Holy shit.
it completely engulfs your torso, and you are now limp in the maw of this creature.
Yum, yum.
It is
Well, I've been
My
continuing
God.
it.
it is now that I can tell you that Kalek is with the party and can grant advantage to one player now. But one player in this situation, so it would be Yilva. So if you in any round, once per round, Kalek can offer an advantage. Yilva, this isn't good.
No.
Clearly.
Pollen, you hear Pollen, you hear this thing crunch down, and you hear just a single yip from Pollen, and then you hear bones crunch.
Oh my god. Am I
And her legs
enough?
are sticking out of its mouth.
Am I close enough to make it in there with my movement?
Yeah.
It's gonna disappear and eat power.
I would like to rage.
Okay, you are raging. Please mark your token with a little rage
Yes.
marker so I know.
What one would you prefer for raging?
Red.
Okay, I'll just do red. She is just going to... You're just going to hear roar. She's just going to roar from down the hall, and it's going to echo.
Yeah.
And she's
Okay.
going to take off. She's going to take off full sprint.
Okay.
And, Is it actually, like, grappling her?
It has her... So Pollen, by mechanics, is 5 feet away from the creature and is just unconscious. I would say that she has the prone condition, she has the unconscious condition. Thematically, she is in the maw of this creature, yes. I don't know that the grapple is even necessary because she's unconscious, so I would say yes, she probably also... I'm not going to apply the grapple effect because nothing mechanically has applied that yet, but cosmetically she's in its mouth.
Do I have my
Drop
shit?
it. Drop it.
Do I have my shit?
What's in your mouth?
You haven't lost anything, Yilva. You were assailed in the dark and you managed to escape. You weren't really 100% sure what it is, but looking at what is now chewing on your dear halfling friend, you can only guess that this is it. Or something like it.
I'm going to sprint forward,
Okay.
and I'm going to two-hand longsword, since it is versatile, and I'm going to try and just, rage attack it.
Yeah, go for it.
And I would like advantage for this.
Oh, I just realized that Pollen is grappled by this creature. I take
God
it back.
damn it. Alright, I'm not attacking. I'm going to wrench
You
her
can
free.
attack. You can. Oh, you want to try to wrench her free?
I am going to pull her out.
All right, yeah. Make a strength check.
That is a very important question.
I'm sorry. I just read an ability and
I just like the idea of Josh. I do want to attack. I want to just run away at that point. Like that's it. I'm not.
No.
I just.
No, I think she would probably reach around the thing and try to just
make a strength check
with advantage.
I would say, yeah. You can make a you can make an athletics check with advantage. Yeah. Very nice. You're able to sort of rip Pollen away, and as you do, you see pieces of the teeth begin to elongate and attach to her, almost like they're stuck. And you see that the pieces, as you pull it out of the maw, long tongue kind of travels with it, and you literally have to pull her from what feels like an adhesive surface and rip her away. And you remember when you dealt with this thing that it literally stuck to you like a tar, and you rip her away, and some of her clothes get ripped with it, and you have her. That is your action. You used part of your movement to get to the creature. You still have some movement left. I would say you moved like from one range to another kind of thing. You probably went from close range to... It was probably at a medium range from you, so you actually probably did already expend your movement, now that I think of the way we're using move.
God damn it. And I'm missing a death save.
You are not.
Oh, really?
Oh. The thing was hurting bad. Oh. Okay.
You are not
So
missing
wait.
a death save.
So I am not missing it, so I need to unmark this then.
Yeah, you can unmark the death save. That was for the different version.
Yilva too.
That was for Yilva too.
Can we donate death saves to other PCs?
I think immediately Yilva is going to like shove Pollen in Kalix's arms.
Okay, he takes her.
Go.
And he just I think he looks at you, sees you, knows what you're kind of doing, nods like you're making a heroic sacrifice thing situation here, and takes and just runs. Yeah.
And I turn to the thing and pull out my sword and shield
Okay.
and face it down for next turn.
All right.
Yeah.
Sneeze. This kitchen knife has sheared its way into the meat of your tail. You see the blood running down its length and making its way towards your body. You don't see where it came from. You see the ones that are in Piper, the one in his hand pulled out of his leg, and then the one still in the meat of the bicep of his arm.
All right.
God. Jeez.
I
look
whisper to
nice.
Piper. I say, Piper, I just want you to know, in case we die, you're my best friend. Look at Vaughn. And I give you bardic inspiration.
Oh.
Oh.
All right.
And I want to try to locate the assailant.
Go ahead and make a perception check as your action.
Oh, I'm so perceptive, guys. I'm the most perceptive perceiver there ever.
Okay.
Be that bad, I mean.
Very
And I
nice.
say, Papa, I can't see shit. I'm gonna be honest with you.
Before you can even finish saying that, you immediately are able to notice a figure moving. It's not doing a good job of hiding itself. You see, sitting atop one of the barrels, stacked 3 high, about 20 feet off the floor, a mad-looking creature. You see a gnome. Its clothes torn, its eyes wide open, its mouth almost a frothing coming out of the corners. You see this creature, it hasn't eaten in a while, it hasn't done anything, and it's very Gollum-esque. It's on the edge, and you see has belts sort of lining its body, knives sticking out of them, forks, all kinds of dining ware of more and more deadly precision, sharpened, in fact, down here in the depths. And you see it says, I'm going to eat well tonight. You will be mine. And there is your assailant.
Yeah, so I pull one of the knives out of Piper, and I'm holding Piper's head, and I point it. I point it towards. I'm like, no, no, and I'm like pointing it towards. No.
Piper, in your drunken stupor, which you have disadvantage on everything right now because you're considered poisoned, you do see the creature, even though it blurs the source of the shadows moving around you, finally finding a focus. This creature, this gnome thing, sitting atop 20 feet above you on these
So
barrels.
creepy.
Its eyes look as though they haven't blinked.
Like you.
What would you like to do?
Is it my turn?
It
Or
is your
it-
turn. You have an action. You have a movement. You could.
I don't like you. And when I do that, a fireball flies from my hand and at it.
Fire
I'm gonna
bolt?
do- Yes, a fire
Perfect.
bolt.
Perfect.
You think we gave you fireball?
Oh, shit. Yeah, did it
16?
roll 16?
16 would hit if it didn't
Okay.
use its spell slot right now to cast shield. You see as the blast comes out.
Bardic
Um,
Inspiration! What does it do?
I believe
D6,
yep, you can
right?
use it now. Yeah, you
D6.
can use it now.
Burn him!
Gotta roll high.
19.
19!
It's enough. You see all of the silverware sort of stack up in front of it, kind of pulling out. You can see its eyes, the pinpricks of arcane light within the irises flash, and the all of these sort of silverware come up to stack in front of it, but your blast hits it, and the fire leaks through the cracks of this sort of iron magical shield made of cutlery. Go ahead and do damage. 5. All
Nothing
right.
could survive fire damage.
It can't.
Well,
It's
it's
dead.
fallen.
It's
Yes, sir,
definitely
yeah.
dead. Duh.
So
Totally.
you rip the fire blasting through the shield as it hits, its eyes wide, its mouth maniacal as it sees its fate before it. The flames hit it. It sort of lights up the room. We can finally get a full vision of this creature who's been down here for, you imagine, maybe even longer than it's been quarantined. And you can just sort of see the decay that's already started in this creature's mind, just in the way its face is sunken, and the flames hit it, and it blasts it right off of this rack, and it goes flying to the ground and hits the ground before you, and it just barely shifts up, and as it looks at you, its face is completely covered in burns, only one eye visible, and it says through rotting teeth, its mouth completely almost ash dark, "I will feast." It is not dead, but it is bloodied. It's its turn, and it's going to immediately get up and start drawing the knives and run towards you. It says, "Food! Food!" And it is going to start throwing the knives back at you guys. It will spend a spell slot as the knives shoot out. And it will be similar to how it was before. Piper, you are taking 2 of these knives.
What?
Give me the fucking AC. They can't beat me.
It's a magical attack. It automatically hits.
No.
It's a magic missile.
You take 7 points of damage as more knives slink into your flesh, filling your gut. You feel the blood begin to pour out. You will not last much longer.
Yeah, I am definitely feeling the fucking.
Go and apply a 7. Go and apply a 7 to your 12 and sneeze.
I can't do another round of this. I'm gonna die.
You take 2
I'm
points of
killing him
damage
next turn.
as another knife sinks its way into your shoulder. Go and apply 2.
Not you, Sneeze. That's
Sneeze. This is for Sneeze.
God,
This is for Sneeze.
They got die, Sneeze. You need to pull your weight a little more.
Oh.
Listen, I'm like 15 pounds. I don't have a lot of weight to pull. All right.
Pollen, I would like you to make a death saving throw. On any of these, you can choose to make it with advantage 1 time on one of your death saving throws. One of the 3 that you make with Kalix's help.
For now.
You can also use inspiration, right?
You can choose to use one of your double inspirations, so you could get advantage on all of these if you want.
Okay. Should I?
Up to you.
Yeah, I will do it. I'm trying to recuperate.
You gonna get the Kalik advantage or one of your inspirations?
Let's use first Kalik inspiration.
Okay. Kalik will give you.
And I'll roll.
That, yep. Roll just a death saving throw. You get to roll one more time.
Thank you.
Oh.
You succeed the first death save.
Okay. Just going. I'm just unconscious. It's great. I feel so helpful. I have spare the undying, the usual, but I cannot do shit about it.
You're like the cleric of life too, aren't you?
I am. I am the healer. I could heal, but I never get to it because I'm
always in the line of fire first.
She didn't attack this time. She didn't try to speak. She just was like.
So, this creature lunges at you, Yilva.
Of course it does.
As well, let's see. Its dinner got ripped away from it. It will attack you. You see that maw open up again. I think this time it's not a maw. It's one of its huge sort of elongated arms stretches out. At this point, it no longer resembles you
venom.
or the
This
floor.
thing's nasty.
It's very venom, and it sort of stretches out and rips at you. And we'll see how that does here.
Natural 1.
22.
Oh boy.
Yep.
Okay. You take
No,
9
that's
bludgeoning
it.
damage, halved to 4 because you are raging.
Great.
But you are now grappled by the creature.
Oh, I love strength checks.
You will make any kind of escape with disadvantage in this scenario. I'll let you know that as it wraps its sort of gooey body around you. And you are not restrained, but this ability in particular to escape it has disadvantage. It just sort of completely engulfs you in that, like in your chest kind of situation. I think like your mid area has its arm like wrapped around, and you can feel that sort of acidy goo kind of surrounding your body. It is your turn.
Shit. So, well, if I attack, is it still disadvantage? Because
you
technically
are
not
currently
restrained, right? Or is it just to
considered.
escape
You are
the-
currently considered grappled, which let me just see what grappled
It
does.
gives you a movement speed of 0. and
I
that's
believe
it.
that's all it does. I just want to see here. Combat conditions grappled. I don't think it gives any kind of disadvantage, but I need to remember that. A grappled creature's speed is 0. Condition ends if they're incapacitated. Yep, that's all. You just can't move.
So I think probably just trying to bring the shield up, if like push, and then get the longsword out and immediately just try to crack down on the middle of it. for sure.
Okay, yeah, go for it. You make an attack as you normally would. The grapple doesn't seem to do anything in that scenario.
I am going reckless, so I get advantage.
Okay,
But you do as well.
all right.
Everybody gets advantage. I do too.
20.
20 will connect. Wow. Yeah. You rip into it. We see that sword come down, and you put a huge, hefty cut deep into the flesh of the creature. And as you see it sort of peel open, you can see this very almost like hive-like inside. These different sort of just. It's disgusting, very alien when you rip into it. This sort of purplish flesh pouring out from within, and a purple blood along with it. Its eyes shift from that yellow to an orange as you cause it pain, and a horrible shriek comes out from it that echoes back and is audible to Kalik, who's pulling Pollen away. It is not bloodied by your strike, but you've harmed it. Anything else you can do, Yilva?
She's going to shout in its face.
Okay.
As it's like holding onto her. Yeah.
Yeah, we hear that shout, and it cuts to mid scream into the shot with Sneeze. This thing is running at you. It's throwing. It says, "Feast, feast!" and it's just throwing these daggers out. They just each sink into your flesh, unable to deflect them.
So is it engaged with us? With Piper?
It is at a medium away from you. It will be at you soon. For sure. It's
Alright.
it's within 30 feet of you, for sure.
Then I'm gonna do like a barrel roll off of Piper's shoulders, down Piper's arm,
Okay.
and draw my little bow. And I'm gonna hold my action till Piper, I assume, is gonna charge this thing and chop it up with their greatsword, right? So I'm gonna hold my action. I pull out my little bow, pull out my little arrow. It's like a got some little bone shit on it. And he's like, "All right, Piper, we right back in the day when them adventurers trying to take all our shit. We just gotta
Yeah.
the old 1-2, and I'm gonna hold my action away for Piper to get engaged in it, and then I will shoot my bow.
Once Piper strikes, or once Piper is within melee range?
Once Piper's within melee range, I have pack tactics.
Perfect. I love it.
Oh,
Piper.
Shit.
I go, 1, 2, and I just grab my great sword, and then I run at this bitch.
You are right next to it. Your moment is now.
I take a step at this bitch and I swing like
As you go to
like
swing,
I was taught to by my father, who's totally present.
you go to swing, and before you even grip on your, as you've approached it, you're getting ready to just fucking like baseball this thing across the hallway. Before you even grip on your sword and get it out of the sheath, you hear a twang of a familiar bow of your friend Sneeze behind you. Go ahead and roll damage on that, if you want.
So I had advantage. I got pack tactics.
Yeah.
Thank
Yeah. Oh wow. Oh my
whopping
god.
8.
A
That's
1,
a bad roll there.
an 8. How do you kill this mad
Yes!
gnome?
You took it out where Piper could do it.
I don't want to shoot him in the head because I feel like Piper's still gonna decapitate him. But I think just like right in the stomach, just like so he's like stunned in place. So then Piper can just fucking go to town.
Yeah.
Very cool.
He goes to say something, but I think Piper was already probably in the movement, you just chop him up, Piper, even though he's already dead. Just put a sword through him.
You know what? Why not? Why
Yeah.
not?
Yeah, he looks up, just and just he is blood and bones.
I go, well, Piper, how's it? Let me cook up this. Let me cook up this here gnome. Let's all sit down. I'll sing us a song. We can have a nice little
That's
shindig.
fair. I can make a firebolt because it's a cantrip, so I can just.
Perfect. We can just get ourselves a little fire, get a little cook going, maybe take a little short rest here.
I hope the other party is having as fun of a time as we are.
And as you say that, we move over
do they hear the roar? Like
They do not. They are far too deep.
That'd be like perfect timing to hear.
I'm going to remove others. I'll leave Sneeze on just to see what you guys are up to. I'm gonna let a few rounds play out here, and then I'll come back to Sneeze, and Piper. Pollen, I'd like you to make another death saving throw. Remember that you still have 2 inspirations you can use to.
I will use my inspiration because I'm scared. I want to live. A 1 and a 2.
All right,
Yay.
you get a second save. You have 1 inspiration remaining for yourself. As Kalik continues to pull you further and further away from this situation, unbeknownst to you.
Just run like a football player. Sorry.
No,
That's
you're
what I
good.
did before. It's like
Yeah.
we are going. That's it.
Its maw opens up wide again, Ylva. The meal that got away. It will finally feast. It got a critical hit with an advantage.
Seems to be the theme of the day.
You got a critical?
I got a critical. I rolled a 7 and a 25.
Give me the damage.
So it will be 17 piercing damage, halved
Aha.
to 8.
Reaction.
Yes.
Stone's endurance.
Stone's endurance.
I'm gonna roll a d12 plus my con and knock that much damage off.
Okay, perfect.
Yeah.
My constitution.
I love it.
Yirba, she's our woman.
13.
Yeah.
So you were going to take 8. You take none. Then after, so it I love this idea. So it moves its maw around you. You see your flesh turn to stone as its bite is unable to effectively sink into your flesh, only making it maybe a few inches before it meets that solid stone, but just enough, unfortunately, for the poison to pump into your flesh past the stone. You take 5 acid damage.
Oh, great.
Which is not halved.
Not halved?
You don't have poison damage with rage. So
Not yet.
yeah, it bites into a nasty bit. Able to put some of that poison that's supposed to sort of finish off its meal, help lubricate the situation with its devouring of you, and you only take the poison. You resist all the pierce. It's your turn.
All right. So, where does it bite? Is it like
Into your
here?
shoulder,
Is it
probably.
here?
Yeah.
Okay. So I think the sword sunk into it first, and I think she pulled back and got bit. I think she's gonna take the sword and turn it around and try to jam it through the side,
Okay, go for it.
one-handed. And this is normal.
You doing it normal?
Yes, I am not reckless.
Okay.
17.
17 does hit. Very nice.
18.
Very nice. It is not yet bloodied by your
that.
strike. You rip. Describe the hit to me one more time.
So it's like biting into her shoulder as she was pulling back to hit it again, and she just flips the longsword around and immediately just jabs it.
Jabs, yeah.
Like a magic trick. Just
digs in, and with sort of each inch that it goes into the flesh, more blood just sort of pours out from the wound. And you hear another horrible sort of groaning screech come from within the creature as it's now many eyes, more than one, at least 4 from what you can see, sort of sinking within its malformed shape. As your blade strikes in, you can see that around the wound, its flesh turns to metal, almost chameleon-like, matching the very sort of shape and texture and look of the objects fitting them. When it struck onto you, that bit of its arm formed into the leather of your armor as well, or the chainmail, whatever it is that you have. As it touched onto you, the pieces of it seemed to form into it. But yeah, now it's full sort of set of 4 yellowish red eyes. Look at you. As you stab into it, continuing to assail your villain here. Sneeze, we'll come back to you. Let's do another round. I want to know what's going on with Short Rest Town. Pollen, you have one more roll to make if you can save. So do you want to use your last inspiration or?
No, it's a good question because I roll like shit the first 2 times, so I don't know if it's gonna be like a pattern. So, you know what? Sure, I'm dying.
Okay.
If you get 20, you regain consciousness.
You have no more inspiration, and you get to roll advantage here. Good choice. Yeah.
All 3 of them.
Save for shit. I'm sorry.
Yeah, we can sort of see in.
You would have been dead.
You are still unconscious, but I think we kind of can perceive through your subconscious mind this next shot of you sort of breathing and like sort of the red kind of coming on either edge of the screen. And that slowly slowing down as we hear you catch your breath, and we can sort of hear the muffled voice of Kalik as you can sort of we can perceive a door opening. You are kind of in a half unconscious, half conscious state. A door opening up. They can hear the slant, the hammering on the door. We hear it open. We hear Kalik's voice muffled through, and we hear a few words: "In danger, need help. She's alive, barely." And you hear another voice very calmly respond, "All right then." And it is the creature's turn.
Come get me, bitch.
Yeah, it will continue to try to devour you with the best of its ability. Going for this time, I think more of the. I mean, I'm imagining it's kind of trying to flip. It's kind of trying to bite in you at the side, kind of thing. It's got you in its maw. It's gonna kind of rip into you.
It's just like a melee struggle. We're just like ripping, trying to like pull it off.
And it will not have advantage on this roll, correct? Because you did not.
No, I am not. I did not reckless last round. No.
8.
I did give it bardic inspiration.
Oh, you did. Perfect.
Yeah, it did. Hasn't used it yet.
It's only a d6. It's only a d6.
Yep.
Very true. Very true. Yeah, it's not gonna use it. But the it goes to rip into you, and I think we get a scene where you've got the blade sort of holding back its maw, unable to fully connect. It is your turn, Yova.
Immediately, I think if I'm holding the teeth back, probably just shove it off and punch.
I just realized something I didn't know. It rolls advantage on attack rolls against any creature grappled by it. My apologies.
Do it. Just
so it would have been a 24. I'm so sorry.
Oh my god.
Does it use the bardic inspiration though?
It doesn't need to in this scenario.
You gotta declare before you hit.
I didn't say it was gonna use it, so it doesn't. So it got an advantage because it's grappling you. So 9 piercing down to 4. So you take 4 and then 5 acid damage.
Looks like it's reckless all the way then if it gets advantage anyway, right?
Yep, it definitely. I forgot that that's something it has. It is now your turn, Yelpa.
All right.
Give me a big crit. For a big crit.
Yeah.
I think at this point, if it's wrestling with her like against the sword, shit, it's got fucking advantage. She's gonna toss the shield away. The shield's on the ground now. She's gonna use both of her hands on the longsword.
Oh well, the one hand she has.
Well, both. It doesn't matter if it hurts or not at this point. and she's going to try to like struggle and cleave down at the neck. Yep.
Okay,
Chop, chop, chop.
Reckless.
go for it.
Attack. That'll be a 20 or a very, very crit.
Oh, yes.
You got a critical hit.
Yes, a crit.
Very nice.
Josh, you're really good at following instructions. I just want you to know that. 24.
24.
24. You
We talking about how Josh has rolled max damage like 4 times on his Boris.
you bloody it.
It's so bleeding. Purple.
This is a hefty strike. It survives, but I feel like you've ripped a portion of it away, and it's sort of festering on the ground. A good part of it, I think with a crit, I'll say you've broken the grapple. I think you've ripped the part between you and it half, and it lets out a horrible screech as a piece of it just falls to the floor and seems to wither and die before you, almost just turning to sort of an acid dust before your very eyes. You stand ungrappled by the creature. How is the short rest going?
Oh man, you ever cook up a gnome before? We're cooking up a gnome.
It smells so good.
He's very much
know, he's
skin and
little-
bones, but there
He's
is
still got a tongue in there. You can chop off the tongue.
Yeah, but if we use the wine we have available to both, like.
He's still got
and
blood. What do we
flavor?
need wine for? We can just drink his blood too while we're at it.
The alcohol dissipates in the heat, anyways, when you cook it.
That's true.
That
That's
was for more of a floral sweet flavor to it.
always appreciate. Yeah,
Delicious.
I have cook's utensils on me, so
Yeah,
I think we
you
got a
do.
little fire going with the fire bolt. Maybe some of this old dry wood down here light up. Get a little like frying pan going. Chop off the parts I can on them a little bit. Maybe with the help of Piper, crack some of the gnome's bones off.
Oh,
Right?
of course.
Get a good like
Yeah.
chicken leg.
Oh my god.
It's like the snapshots that are taken, the visual snapshots, because I imagine it's not just a camera swing of this, but it's like a picture at a time, kind of
Oh, yeah.
overlaid.
Oh yeah.
And it's like almost 2 people being like, oh,
Yeah.
and it's just like a great time.
Love it.
The friend
Of
theme
our
song.
It's just a
gnome's
party.
leg is being.
Yep.
Yeah, it's when we have the Friends
It's like
theme
Gravity
song
Falls.
playing in the background.
Yes,
All the pieces
the
come up.
friends definitely playing.
All right, yeah. So the feast is I'm sure delicious
Hopefully we
for y'all.
Hopefully we can get through this short rest so we can spend some hit dice. I think you can recover a spell slot.
You guys can absolutely take a short rest. Mechanically, right now, you can do that. You're already in to win there.
I do, just so you know, Christian, I have Song of Rest. If you spend a hit die on a short rest, you get an extra d6 for free.
So, as you stand before this sort of creature, you've heavily wounded it. I'm going to have it make a quick check, really quick. Very good. All right.
I don't like that.
Let's have Bardic Inspiration.
I know, I'm not a fan of hearing very good when we hear creature checks.
Very good.
Very good.
Run or run not? That is the question.
They can try and come fight us.
Okay.
We have to work for an hour down.
You look upon it, ready to face down your foe. Both of you weakened, bloodied in one manner or another. There's very much a consensual feeling of whoever gets the next kind of swing here wins, or like whoever can land it. The next blow is the killing blow. And as you look at it, you immediately see a light form behind it. It fills the room and sort of burns your eyes. I should have kept in mind that you didn't have any light in this moment, and for
I
disadvantages.
have a torch. I dropped it as like that I dropped
It's
my
fine.
torch.
It's not a big deal. But in any case, this it probably dimmed out. It probably it probably already sort of went out during the course of this situation. Maybe the mimic stepped on it. So the situation is it's getting quite dark, and then immediately a light appears behind the creature, and it turns. Its sort of shape, those eyes shifting, but before it can, you see what looks to be a halo of flames pour around it, and it starts to try to move towards you, but before it can, the blast completely fills the hall. The flames completely behind it consume the creature, and you hear it let out a screech that is very quickly silenced as it turns to dust before you, this sort of hulking figure, quite the size of a horse. And as the flames go out, there is one flame left. You see, holding a torch on the other side of where this creature was, Shanjan. And he is looking at you and he says, "Are you all right?"
Strange question.
Come.
And
The door is not far away.
can I check my arm where it bit me? My shoulder?
Yeah. What are you looking for?
Is the stone spreading?
The stone. Your stone skin ability?
No. It was not turning me to stone?
Nope.
No, it was
Cool.
your ability.
It was your ability.
Alright. Excellent.
Shan's another doppelganger. You
I
gotta
was like,
kill him
shit,
too.
I'm totally turning into a statue down here, and that's but that's awesome.
We're out of combat, by the way.
Yay!
But yes, Shanjan says, the door is not far away. I can lead you.
I cannot see.
He holds out a torch and hands it to you.
Okay. And just covered in her own blood. Her hand is crushed, the one that was sucked into the creature, right? It's
I think you need
the
a
one
doctor.
she was still wielding her sword in that hand. Even though it was messed up, it still was, yeah. So,
Yeah, he sort of looks down at the ash pile. Was this what was causing all the problems with the gnomes?
yes, it was.
Or was
Maybe.
it?
Where are the others?
Eating the second cause of it.
They're further in. I do not know their fate.
Hopefully we will see them soon. Come, let us see to these wounds. I'm sure the gnomes will be hospitable in knowing that you have single-handedly slain this creature.
I hope that is it.
I don't know how you guys trust this dude. I'm just gonna say that right now.
Yeah,
I don't know how we trust a goblin in a trench coat, either. So I guess.
You shouldn't have. That's why.
That's the point.
That's
You
the
were
point.
supposed to learn to question everything and be as cynical as possible.
So Shanjan and Kalik will be most likely adamant about getting both Yova and Pollen to the infirmatory and spending a good amount of time there, probably long rest levels of time before even explaining to the leaders of the Gnome City what had happened. There is no rush in this situation, as both Pollen and Yova were close to losing their lives. Oh, we lost Kayla. I'll have to bring her back in. Here we go. Okay. Michaela, are you there?
I'm almost. My computer shut down again. Sorry.
No, you're good.
Wow, it booted up real quickly.
It's not my computer.
She's on her
my
phone.
Yeah, phone.
You have
I'm
been
sorry.
both you, Pollen, and Yilva have been taken to the Gnomish infirmary by Kalik and Shanjan, who I think are concerned about your guys' health more than anything right now. So informing the leadership of Gnomengard has sort of been put on the back burner of the situations that have happened down below. How do things go with Piper and Sneeze down below? How long do you spend down here? How long before you come back out?
Oh, short rest, loot what we can, I assume, from this big room. Right.
Lots of wine. You would find a collection of silverware in one corner of the room. You would see some writing on the wall in chalk, gnomish. Can't read it. Sort of the hovel corner of whatever this horrible hungry gnome was keeping to himself.
Piper, what do you want?
I'm all for going deeper. I feel like this gnome couldn't possibly make people randomly disappear, but
There is nowhere
it's up
deeper
you,
to
really.
go.
I feel full. Oh, there's nowhere
Well,
deeper to go.
Not in this
Gnomes
room.
are quite frail and useless. I think this one here could have taken out a lot of them. I think we found our culprit.
Okay, well let's leave at least his head, and we can drag his head along with us to
Put
show
on your belt?
that we have
We
done
could
our
play
duty.
baseball with this guy's head if we wanted.
No, we need to keep it looking proper
All
until
right.
we get our reward. Then we can play baseball.
I already ate his tongue. Is that all right?
That's fine. The tongue doesn't affect the outside, right? I pick up the
It
head,
shouldn't.
and I look at it, and I'm like, I don't notice a difference with or without a tongue.
Oh my
Let's
gosh.
just wire its mouth shut, and then they won't tell.
That's
I agree. We should bring this back as proof of our work down here.
But I agree. I assume he agrees also to wire the mouth shut, so I'm gonna take a little time to wire its mouth shut.
Oh my god.
Okay.
We found it like that.
Yeah.
It was still alive though, and it was just the head, not the rest of the body.
The mouth was wired shut when we saw it.
All right.
Don't do an
yeah.
autopsy.
Piper and Sneeze, you found the murderer. You've solved the case.
It was the the haunted headless gnome of Gnomon
No,
Town.
we have the head. It was the haunted gnome who we decapitated.
Did we tell him that part though?
Why not? It was the murderer. Why wouldn't we decapitate a murderer? I don't
Because
understand.
gnomes are dumb, Piper. They're gonna
Oh,
be
okay.
like, "You killed a gnome? Oh no, you're a bad person." Ugh. That's what Yilva would say, I bet.
So it's not the headless gnome. It is the beheaded gnome.
The head, the
Head
super-headed
down.
gnome. All it is the
The
head.
super-headed gnome. Yes.
Yeah, it was stabbing people. Look, we got the stab
We
wounds
got
to
the
show.
stabs. I show my wound. We got the
Yep.
stabs.
They're very
I
like
also
little,
share my
'cause it's
wound
like
where,
no.
like I put my finger in this line. I go, ow. And then
Also, you can spend your hit dice if you want, but I don't know if it's gonna be. Oh, we probably should because I feel like we're gonna have to fight some gnomes.
The situation is definitely a short rest at the very least. So people who want to apply a short rest definitely can.
All right.
Yeah.
That sounds good. Yeah,
No,
we can
I
do that and
spend
head
all
out.
my fingers.
Nice.
Yeah,
Let's
you guys,
just-
as expert dungeon masters, the two of you definitely know you have searched every inch of this area.
Touched every wall, pulled
Yep.
every book.
You know that there's no other secret doors. You're good to go. I feel like you should both
Yeah.
have a special dungeoneering skill. Just pull that back from 4th edition for you guys.
I'd taken place for a background if we wanted to change our backgrounds. There's some kind of background feature. That's
I'm
like
sure they have we could do like a background dungeoneer situation.
Dungeon dude.
Like
That's
advantage to finding secret doors and traps and shit.
Wow.
Yeah.
It's sweet.
Making your way back out of the undercellar chambers, you're met by Quibi the gnome, who was instructed to stay behind and sort of wait for I believe by our dear goodness, can't remember his name
Jean
because I
Belton.
don't have it on my
Sean John?
list. No.
John?
Oh yeah, sure, Sean John. let's do Sean John. I just can't remember Kyle's name. Kalik, right?
Oh, okay.
Cool. Quibi immediately look. He just says, "Look, he as you guys would come out, I think he immediately just be like, yeah, oh, wait, what was he? He was, what was his voice like? He's a bit dwarfish. I believe he sounded okay. And he says, oh, you made it out okay. Good. I was told to stay behind and wait to bring you back. Your friends are quite hurt. They're in the infirmary.
Oh, I guess they ran into another killer. We found one of them down there. Took care of him.
Beheaded home. It was a horror story.
It was a murderer.
Wasn't asked for. I lift up its head.
Yeah. It's still got like half of its face burnt off. One of its eyes is probably dangling out.
Make a persuasion check. Make a persuasion check with advantage.
All right, I'll do that. I'll do that, Kristen.
Feel my glory here. 20. Of course you are.
Yeah, he looks. He just says.
I'm a 5. I'm a bard.
He says, "Oh, so it was a murderer. Can I get a closer look at him?" And he kind of like looks at the face. Just
yes, I shoved the head uncomfortably close to him, and then he has to back up for a second. But then I just hold it still once it's where my
looks and he just says, "Librarian Jabby? Oh, that was you."
He was talking about eating. Yes, I let the guy take the head. I'll drop it if he puts his hands like this. I drop it. Even if he didn't mean to hold it, it's now in his grasp.
What madness took you? And he just sort of looks at us.
He kept mentioning that he would eat. I was confused.
So he was eating.
Yeah, he talked about getting a meal and eating us. I think he got the gnome sickness.
He takes it back and he's like, "Please, take it. He hands it back to you, Piper. He says, "Hold." The head chronicler will want to hear about this. You're heroes. You saved us.
Wait, the head chronicler? And I put the head out again. And then I put it back.
Come. Your friends are in the infirmary. I will inform the chronicler, Fiddlestip, the lord of what has happened. He can inform the King Corbos of the transpiring events. You've done it. You've saved us.
It was a group effort. We all did our part.
Did he? Was he the one who hurt your friends?
Wait, what?
Yes.
Oh, do you mean like a really tall lady and a really small lady? Is that what you're? Oh. I get, and then a man with a weird metal thingy on his arm.
He puts it. You guys are sort of relaying the story as he takes you to the upper levels. He buys everything.
Yeah. I talk about his divine arcane arts that he used to try and enslave us to his will.
How long must this been going on? Oh my goodness!
Listen, I would launch a thorough investigation on anybody to see if they've come under control of the taint.
Oh, no.
That doesn't sound good. Lord Fiddlestip will want to know.
I know y'all gnomes know a lot about the arcane magics, but this one in particular seemed he dabbled a little too deep.
Some kind of poisonous necromancy. It all spells evil. It's a good thing you came when you did. Dealing with such things, I mean, it would have taken many gnomes who've lost many lives, but you all made it out alive. You're quite impressive.
I would guess at least 50 gnomes would have died.
No, I may have judged you before. I've never known a kobold or a bugbear not to be disliking surface folk. You're unlike any I've ever met before. I feel as though maybe I've misjudged the whole situation.
You know, I think if both sides were just to come together, I think we could hash out our disagreements.
He looks and he just says, "You know, I think you might be right." And you sort of changing Quibi.
Are we like alone with this now?
Yeah, for a portion of time before you make it to the upper levels where you see more people. You would have had to act. You would have had to act earlier. If you wanted to.
All right. We don't need to. No, I wouldn't. I was just doing it to spook y'all.
So, yeah, where do we, let's talk about it as a party. Where do we meet up? Do we meet up in the infirmary? Do we meet up back in the common room as you're waiting for your friends to basically come out of the doctor's office kind of situation? Do we meet up back in Fibblestib's quarters? How do we conclude Nomengard?
I mean, Yilva still got my sword. By Yilva, I mean the dead Yilva still has my sword. Because I gave the doppelganger my sword, so I want to meet up with Yilva and be like, oh hey, how's it going? Where the fuck is my sword?
Yeah, you guys can be. We can open up in the infirmatory. You can see that Pollen is awake but weak. You can see that Yilva is hurt pretty bad but patched together. Like there's plenty of magical wounds that have been sealed, plenty of bandages that have been applied. You guys can use the effects of a short rest if you haven't already to your characters. So yeah, let's start in that scene in the infirmary. You see your friends.
I'd scamper up. I can't run. I can only scamper, I think. And
There's a
I'd be
few
like,
Gnomon nurses around. Go ahead.
oh my gosh, my friends. What happened here? Did y'all run into the Gnomon wizards mad creations too?
We haven't run into a wizard, but you turned into a Tifi-looking creature while my Yirva ran out of the room, and then I blasted it, and then it ate me, and I don't remember anything.
Yilva ate you? I look at Yilva, like, confused. But also a little intrigued.
Not this one. There was a different
cannibal.
one. Yeah. She wasn't the one that we thought she was, and then she came out of the library, and
Oh. Which one's got my sword? Please say this one.
The one that's dead.
Well. Shit.
But a gnome mad wizard? What?
Yeah, Piper and I came across a mad wizard. We still got his head on us if you want to see it.
No, thank you.
All right,
No,
Piper,
thank
show
you.
him the head.
No.
Piper.
Oh, it's right here. Oh, look at this. It doesn't have a tongue. We found it that way.
What are you doing with that?
Oh, it's proof that we don't kill gnomes randomly, that we kill murderers.
Yeah, murderous gnome. Look, he tried to stab us and shit with its magical knives. And
Murderous eyes, and I opened one of its eyes.
There's some concern from the gnome nurses in the room, but they don't disrupt you. There's just a lot of, oh.
That was the goal. We thought that, like, you just show up without a gnome, but you say you killed it, they wouldn't believe you. We show up with the gnome, they'll
You
believe
left conveniently before the darkness tried
The
to
body was heavy. The head is light.
consume.
We
the
thought y'all
body.
were coming with us, but y'all weren't. Turns out the one of you that wasn't coming with us was not the real Yilva, if I got my story straight.
Oh, that was the situation. I liked that one.
And you didn't think to come back at all.
We needed to find the murderer. And I turned to Piper and I like go to whisper in Piper's ear. I'm like, Piper, what if this is the fake Yilva? And I lean in again and I'm like, I kind of like it thinking it is though. Like I think it adds another layer of like, ooh, right?
It might kill them for us, and it just makes our job easier.
That's a good point. The dragon will like us if we kill the people who are trying to kill it.
Exactly.
Anyway, I've got to go find my sword. Have a good one, y'all. And I just walk out of the room. Go back
Okay.
down to the dungeon.
Do you want
Leaving them.
a murderer? Here you go. And I drop it in Colin's lap, and then I'm like, oh. Do I leave with you? Do I? No? Okay.
Unfortunately, the
But
door.
You can hold that. You can keep that.
The door back down. So yeah, I would say that makes sense. Sneeze leaves the scene. The door back down is locked.
I mean, I go get somebody. I go get
Okay.
Beagle Bomb.
Go
or
through the
whatever
process
or
to get
go get
Sneeze back.
Sneezy. Yeah,
Gilda's
we'll just
gonna
we
go
don't have to
lift-
don't role play it.
She's gonna lift the head out of Pollen's lap.
Quest for the sword.
Thank you.
What do you feel about that head, Yilva? How does it?
I feel
Does
like
it
you're more of a
make you feel
barbarian than me.
murderous?
That's what I feel. It's disgusting.
That's what I expected someone like you to say.
Dishonor. And I'll hand it to the nearest nurse.
Oh, and she takes it. She says, "Librarian Jabby."
Proof of the murderer! Don't drop it! Don't drop and don't open
A
its
murderer?
mouth. It was wired before I touched it.
What happened to Jabby? She
I
says,
wouldn't listen to anything that they say.
Usually,
Take care of it.
I tried to look at the stab wound, and I go to point to it, and I finger it again. I'm like, ow, ow, it's a hurt. It's not nice.
Yilva's kind of like,
Mhm.
He made that with a fork.
I like to think
Look at a little-
the stab wounds are just look like paper. Like we just
The little
we're still full
pinpricks
health.
down
Dude.
the
We look
thing.
like we got like paper cuts, and we're like, ow, look what it did to me.
Ow, ow.
Wow, we have like a
Yeah.
halfling just
Yilva's
glued
in
on.
like half body bandage. Yeah.
It was made with a fork. This one forked me. It's weird. Did you hear your son? Do you want to say that out loud? No one does.
Ah. I'm happy you're okay. Question mark.
So happy you're here, and stuff. Yes.
Uh-huh.
We- I'm gonna turn. Yilva's gonna turn to the nearest nurse. That can you hand the head to?
"Librarian Jabby, why?"
When will we be seen?
She looks, says, "Seen? Oh, well, if you're feeling better from the wounds that you've suffered, I'm glad to hear it.
Yes.
You
Thank
are
you.
you are delegates of Lord Fibblestib. If you wish to see him, I'll send one of my ladies to call upon him."
Please do.
Yes, please.
And then she's gonna start taking bandages off.
Oh, you
Totally
don't want to
fine.
do what? What don't? Oh,
She's totally fine underneath. I rolled max, almost max on my hit dice,
well,
and I have full HP.
strong blood there. You're so big. Okay. It's just. Oh, I didn't know that we were going to close all those wounds, but it looks like you're quite a natural healer. And are you feeling okay, lass? Goes over to you, Pollen.
You know, you're surprisingly really well. I've never been chewed before, but I feel really
Chewed?
appreciate. I just remembered this big
There
like
were-
teething
There
thing.
were bite marks. What happened?
Well, the one who looks like this one wasn't this one, and then she turned into this monster, and just after I used my spell,
You know what? Forget I asked. Just
uh,
glad you're okay.
thank you, me too.
Yeah. An audience with Fibblestib can happen right here and now if you guys are ready for that.
Okay. I
Sure.
think,
Oh, yeah, I walked back in with I got my sword. I'm back.
Yeah, absolutely. Your
Yilva's
sword
gonna
is
kneel
in
next
rough
to,
condition for sure, but you got it.
I do make a point where I'm like, Yilva, I know it wasn't really you. I just want to make a point. I tried to give you my sword, and now I'm bragging about trying to do a good thing.
I
yeah.
appreciate it.
You can hear him before you can see him. The sounds of the
Sneeze or Fibblestip?
Fibblestib.
Both.
Both. Yeah, the sounds of Fibblestib berating his assistant Dabbledob, and they're sort of back and forth before he opens into the room. He says, all right, where are they? I can't see. Dabbledob, my glasses. No, not those. The reading glasses. The other ones. Okay, thank you. And he puts them on. Adjust them. Oh. There you are. So, I hear tell you made your way out of the cellars. Well, I'm quite interested as he packs his pipe full of pipe weed and immediately lights it. Quite interested in what you have found below. So tell me, have you solved our little problem?
Yeah.
Yes, consider it solved.
Well, details, please don't skip upon them. I wish to know.
Well, chairs were moving and stuff were coming to life, and then there was people taking shapes of other people, then trying to eat the other people.
Whoa! You're talking about a mimic?
No.
I thought it was, but it didn't seem like a mimic.
That sounds like a mimic. It changes the shape of different objects, attacks people.
It did change the shape. I have the head again. I don't know how. I just lifted up, and I'm like, it didn't change its shape.
It's like the nurse is walking by with it. Oh,
Yeah, she's literally didn't know what to do with it. Just grab
Always
it.
a no.
Is that
yeah, like
librarian Jabby? Wait,
yeah,
No.
we
he was
In
the
a
one.
library, he attacked me.
He was not the one.
we divided and conquered. You see,
Yes, there were 2 murderers.
half of our group came across this other beast likely created by
Pathetic, easily killed.
this this thing. We encountered another one of these culprits here. This
Longer one.
this gnome one, your compatriot who quickly tried to
Yes, he's
disband.
one of our archivists.
Well, he can archive the afterlife now. He tried to fuck with the wrong people.
He was one of the many people we lost down below. A number party of 6. He was one that did not come up. I'm surprised
That's
to
because
see.
he was doing
He's
some
evil.
killing of his
He
own.
was attacking. Look at what he did to me with a fork.
But you're saying that's not what happened. So there's 2 stories here. Did you separate at some point?
We
Yes,
did.
They were pathetic, so we left to attack the more dangerous foe.
We thought that our friend was injured and needed help because they were traumatized.
Ended up being an evildoer anyways. Good job. Know your friends better.
Oh,
Well, there seems to be a little bit of confusion, but also it does seem as though you've both, in your own ways, if you're telling the truth, which I think you are, you have both dealt with 2 very dangerous situations down below, which are pacified, as our dear friend Jabby here is headless, or a head, rather, and you claim to have dealt with some other form of creature that changed shape, the likes of a mimic.
It took form of people,
yeah.
not things.
Some mimics can take the shape of other people. Did it talk?
No, it did not speak.
Well, it did
I would
say
lean more on the
words
way of a
when I
mimic.
saw it. It was like, don't go into darkness. Cold. Something.
Did it talk to you, Sneeze? Or was... Oh no, it didn't talk to you.
I don't know. Listen, fake Yilva and real Yilva don't like me, so it's real hard to tell the difference.
They both
Actually,
do not
actually, fake Yilva did talk a little. Fake Yilva was kind of nice.
Yeah. Well,
Silva.
she looked hurt. She looked really traumatized, which is not usual what this one does because she never gets scared.
So a doppelganger, then.
Noticed
A
that
doppel
mimics
mimic.
rarely get scared.
A
I
doppel
don't
mimic?
I don't know much. I got almost
Oh my
eaten.
god, what if the real Yilva is actually a doppelganger? And the fake Yilva is also a doppelganger?
And they doppelganged each other!
What if this, our dear Jabby and this doppel mimic, or whatever it is you found, perhaps they were in cahoots?
That's what I was trying to say. That's what I was trying to say.
It was curious how many gnomes we were losing. It would take a face that's trusting to pull such innocent people into that kind of situation.
Like this face! I lift up the head again in case anyone forgot.
Quite
Once again.
unfortunate.
It just falls out
Please.
this time.
This
Can we
is
please
Completely
get rid of that?
detaches.
We need to. Oh god.
Right here. This is a trusting face, except for this half. And I
Ow,
covered the
ow.
half that's not... I covered the half that's burned horribly. I'm like, this half looks
I
very
can
trusting.
take that
It's
from
too
you.
big.
Please.
Oh, good. No one else will. And I
Yeah, he grabs it and he says, "Oh, Jabby, wonder what led you down the path of evil. I guess we'll never know, but I guess we're in a bit in your debt here. You've saved us."
If it'll help you, he did mention about being hungry.
Oh. I believe he may have gone insane by the likes of what you've described. Not sure why. Whether this
I mean, I
creature
also
got to him
experience hunger
first.
from time to time, but I usually don't talk about it while trying to kill. Maybe it's
Yeah,
like
usually you hold it in.
or we talk about it beforehand, like, hey, we can eat that thing. Let's kill it.
He could have
Then you
been
kill it. Then you
beholden.
talk about it.
He could have been beholden to the creature, maybe for the lack of survival. There's a lot of things that could have happened down there.
It was also a floating head. It could have been a beholder.
And it floated, too. So this creature must have been magical.
There was no body. We did not eat it.
Yilva's just shaking her head through all of this shit.
Yeah, I think...
we need no reward for our service.
Dabble, yeah.
A little reward would be appreciated, though.
Dabble.
We don't need
We made a deal, guys. If we just stop this, then we can get help for our other mission.
Oh yeah, that help, but personally we don't need.
Dabbledob immediately notices easily the separation here, and she'll lean over to Fiddlestib and say, in a whisper, but still audible, just, I really don't know if either side knows exactly what's... It seems like a lot of this is not put to... Oh, no, it's fine. Listen, they went down there, there was trouble, they dealt with it. I am sure King Korbos and the Lord Protector, Neril, can come out of hiding now they have dealt with the issue. You killed things down there, right?
Yes.
Things are dead. Listen, we also did a thorough sweep before we left. There ain't a single living thing down there.
See? Thorough sweep. Nomengarde is saved. Now we can get back to business at hand and not deal with this silliness of missing people and monsters and floating heads. I want to be rid of all this. Put it behind our noble city. I will speak to the king and Lord Protector, convince them to come out. All is done. I'm sure this head will prove as enough evidence, and nothing to go against your whole monster theory, but I think that perhaps with some physical evidence I will be able to convince the king otherwise, but that is my business. Now, my side of the deal. As I said before, we are in your debt. You wished for magical items to help you with the dragon, yes? Yes?
Item, contraption, something that can hurt.
I have a host of some items. We can donate you a single arcane cannon to your city. That would be I think a definite help. We can spare at least one, but I believe we can also spare a few other odds and ends for yourselves and perhaps others within your protection ring of old Fandolin. Let me get these out here. Let me find my notes here. What do we have in stock?
It's a portable arcane cannon that
Oh,
I
yes.
carry on my back.
It's in a wagon. We'll give you a mule. You can take it back. And,
A mule?
You'll want to give the mule to Barthen.
Not for eating.
No,
well,
I don't. Mules are adorable and friendly and wonderful creatures. Don't.
Yeah.
I can't believe you'd assume something like that, Yelva. Yelva, are you feeling hungry at all? Why would you even bring that up?
You've never shown this kind of hunger before.
Do you want to see what I have for you, or are you still talking about me?
Yes,
We have a food hall, too.
Yes,
What do you have?
we would appreciate
Some odds and ends for you all youngsters to help you out. Let's see, we have this clockwork amulet. Here, there are instructions. You can read these easily enough. You have eyes, don't you? We got a pole of collapsing here. That's nice.
My fists usually do many collapsing of people's faces.
Ooh,
so
a wand of pyrotechnics. This is also something that's quite of use. And, oh, no, this is something well sought after. Sought after even, I believe, by your mayor, Harbin Wester. He's shown interest in this kind of thing. Perhaps you could sway some form. Here, Hat of Wizardry.
Ooh.
Ooh.
These are all yours to use as you will. I hope that this will serve as enough reward for what you have done on top of the cannon, which can offer you a level of protection.
Which one?
Don't recognize any of these things, probably.
I would like to see what the hat looks like on my head.
I mean, yeah, I think the hat makes most sense for.
Do you guys need me to describe any of these items?
Like, which one would make? I think the hat will make sense for Piper. At least what I'm looking at here.
I would like to wear it. I do love hats.
This antiquated
Also the
cone-shaped
wand.
hat is adorned with gold crescent moons and stars. While you're wearing it, you get the following benefits. You can use the hat as a spellcasting focus, and you can cast a cantrip you don't know. The cantrip must be from the wizard spell list. And you must make a DC 10 Intelligence Arcana check. If the check
Intelligence?
succeeds, you cast the spell. If the check fails,
+2
you...
intelligence.
So does the
-2
spell.
wisdom.
And the action used to cast the spell is wasted. Either case, you can't use this property again until you finish a long rest. So any cantrip.
Okay.
Once per
Yes.
day.
Viper, I think. Yeah.
I'm leaning towards the pole because it is small but can become big. I can be small but stay small.
Yeah.
If you want to take any of these, please just copy paste it onto your sheet somewhere
Yeah.
that you have it. That way you don't lose it, because I won't have to
Although
bring this up again. What of the wand of pyrotechnics and the clock of amulet? You guys don't have to take all of these, but if you want them.
What do you want? We're right now between Clockwork Amulet and one of Pyrotechnics. What would Hirva take?
Clockwork
I
Amulet's
guess
pretty good.
I was gonna say I guess maybe the amulet for sure.
Yeah, copy
Then I will
paste
take the
that in your
wand
sheet.
of Pyrotechnics.
What does it look like? It's ticking, right?
Yeah, you tell me. It's a copper amulet, contains tiny interlocking gears that is powered by magic from Mechanus, a plane of the clockwork predictability. Creature that puts their ear to the amulet can hear the faint ticking and whirling of noises coming from within, and when you make an attack while wearing the amulet, you can forego the d20 to get a 10 on the die. Once used, the property can't be used again until dawn.
Yeah.
So you can take a 10.
Take a 10 and
And what it looks like is up to you if you want to add detail to it. These items are very brief in their description, so they're up to you guys to do with as you will.
Would it fit around her neck?
Yeah.
A Goliath? Okay, all right.
Yeah. They'll lengthen the chain for you.
Well, Step, I might have like a request. You said somebody, or I don't know. I'm looking for an item. I've been told it might be here. Like it's a family thing, and it might be like detached from itself, and it looks like a stick, but it's not a stick. It's like a staff thingy, but it's separate. It's quite pretty. It looks a little bit like pearly.
Oh. I know what you are talking about.
You do?
Yes. Though it's unfortunate, it's not here anymore.
Okay. Where is it?
It's a long story. An unfortunate one as well. With our first dealings of Cryovane, the creature had not approached us initially in anger. We had a level of negotiations with it in the hopes that it would leave us alone. It is capable of some very brief speech. It demanded things of significance in place of our survival. Unfortunately, the item that you speak of, and I do believe I remember was a gift at one point to our noble kingdom, something to keep safe as a sort of a show of faith to your clan. We had to give it to the dragon.
Who was that?
With a number of other gold and jewels, but unfortunately I believe it is part of its hoard, my darling. I'm sorry.
Clever dragon.
Okay.
What was this thing?
As a staff of some considerable power, but such dragons love things that make them feel, well, significant, so we thought, it was just sitting around, so we used it for the
I'm
sacrifice.
a dragon
Considerable
feels
powers sitting around.
It was a token, but it wasn't something able to be wielded by gnome kind. A gesture, really. It's something that belongs in the hands of a halfling.
Well, let's go get it then. What are we waiting for?
I would be very careful. One, no one quite knows where that dragon holds up still a question of a debate, but I would be careful facing down Cryovane. He's a vicious beast.
I am in no rush of getting
Halt
it.
to devour
Have
you.
an excellent reputation.
It's just, yeah. If we see it, I need it.
I am so sorry that that happened. I didn't expect a member of your clan to just show up out of the blue, really requesting it. But I do hope you're able to find it.
Me too. Me too.
Perhaps
Thank
he
you.
traded it to somebody else. You never know. Dragons are strange creatures. They could get lucky. Probably not.
Great.
He just says, well, I believe we've made quite a good exchange here, giving you some protection, some reconnection to our old allies in Phandalin. Oh, do tell Harbor Wester I said hi, and let him know you got that wizard hat. I'm sure he wants it. Unless you need to stay here, you can stay a little while longer, no problem. But
Did
you're
we pick
free
up
to
the
roam
one
as you will.
pyrotechnics?
Oh yeah, I believe
Yes,
you.
I do have it.
Halfling here took it.
Aha! Fire!
He says, but
Well,
no
the
God is
cantrip
open
I
to
did
you.
with my hat was. Oh, sorry.
You choose in the moment. You get to choose any
Sorry?
cantrip in the
I
moment.
could choose any. Well, the only one I'll
From
ever
the wizard
choose
from the wizard
is,
spell list, yeah.
Yes, the only one I'll ever choose, as Thomas would always advise, is True Strike.
Oh yeah.
Hey, excellent.
No.
Oh my
totally
God.
going for
Perfect
main
one.
theory
So
of Frost.
great.
Love
Very
True
Frost,
Strike.
nice. Yeah, you guys are definitely feel free to stay here. You're definitely considered heroes for the moment for dealing with the situation. And rumors will spread in Nomergard quite quickly of two stories that interlace, and some lean one way, some lean another. And now it's the debate of the city, not who's going to kill me. It's what actually happened. And there's people who lean on the one side, and then the other, and then the mixed. So
I like it. It adds to the mystery. It adds a little longevity to the story.
It adds some longevity. They'll be talking about this for months. Like, why
Like,
did
is the dress yellow
Jabby
or
do
blue?
it? Yeah. Why did Jabby do it? Oh, I didn't hear it was Jabby. I heard it was a monster. I heard it was a monster that worked with Jabby. Wait, what? And yeah, you would. That would definitely echo. Your challenges of Nomengard are complete. You may do with yourselves what you wish.
Thank you, Sunjun, for helping us. I didn't see you do anything, but I heard that you helped.
Says,
Yeah.
I was simply an observer. Consider my part of the reward your own. I think I've learned quite a bit so far from you and gotten out of this what I really need. So, thank you.
Do you want the pole? I pull out the pole.
And
Too.
he says, I have access to my own unique items. I think
I elongate it to poke him in the face with it.
He kind of just moves out of the way. He
I'm
says,
like, you sure?
I would appreciate it if you would remove that, please.
All right, thank you.
And thank you.
Delongate, shorten it.
Oh my
And
god.
thank you. Yeah.
Gilva, do you want the pole? I mean, I can't reach very far, but now I can poke things 10 feet away. You could probably poke things like 30 feet away if you had it. Because Gilva is like the strongest one of us, by far. And I pat Piper on the back, because I'm always on Piper's shoulder. And it's my
Gilva,
pat sign,
you
that
might
means
have-
I'm lying so they like me.
Oh yes, I mean we don't know how Yilva's changed since
Yeah.
Underground.
You both have a very overactive imagination.
Is that a yes or no on the poll?
No, keep it.
Poke her in the face with it. See if she'll decide once she sees its magnificence.
Would you like that, Gilva, to be poked in the face?
No.
Then I will not, because I recognize people's boundaries.
Oh my god, the boundaries of a monster.
I think we should do some team building sometimes. There is clearly a riff. I mean, y'all weren't playing along with us. It's alright. I don't
As
expect
we did the
y'all to.
hard work, but you know.
I got okay. It's fine. It's fine.
But I'm sure we can agree on something. We're
only-
always disagreeing. What
I
do we
only
want to
have-
agree on?
One more rage left for the day, and I won't use it on you.
Listen, maybe you shouldn't maybe you shouldn't internalize all that rage. Maybe you should just let it out.
I could get you to smile as I start preparing Tasha's hideous laughter. I'm like, we could get you to laugh a lot. Oh, I start
Is
laughing into my
is
spell. I'm like,
Tasha's a verbal component spell?
Oh no.
Yeah. It is.
It'd be kind of funny if the laughter spell didn't have
I know, right?
No reason. Just asking.
I'm like, would you like to laugh? And I offer the spell up more as less as a threat and more as an offering. Would you like to laugh?
I will pass.
Oh, fine.
So
Okay.
yeah, but we are making some sort of an effort to find a common ground with you, so we may work more efficiently in the future as co-workers. Is there anything you would like to add to that, or are we good?
I have problems with lying.
Me too.
Yeah.
And I think we both just have that place like, we didn't lie about anything.
Exactly.
We found a magician gnome who tried
As a
to kill
matter
us.
of fact, it is built into my character to struggle with lying.
Doesn't mean I gotta like you.
Art I should reflect to the world.
Doesn't
We
mean
What
you
are we
gotta like
lying
you.
about, Ylva? What are we lying about?
A lot of things, apparently. And she's
Like
gonna turn
what?
to she's gonna turn to Pollen, totally just whoop.
Okay, just be mean like that. Just be so passive aggressive. That's
Rude.
fine.
I don't remember the old.
I
Yoda
don't
like
remember.
that.
I'm trying to connect. She just doesn't want to connect. Yeah, old Ylva was mighty friendly. New Ylva, she got a little fire going on. A little.
Oh,
Pollen, are you okay?
I am fine. I never thought I would be eaten. And I'm not. Well,
You got eaten. Oh, tell me.
okay, so it was like this weird feeling. I just seeing teeth behind me just clap around me, and I just remember pain and just for not seeing anything, just pain, so much pain. And
I like that. I've eaten so many things alive that I've always wondered what would it feel like to truly be eaten.
yeah, well,
That's
there was
very introspective of you, Flapper.
it's not fun, and you should not eat stuff that is still alive. I felt so scared, so useless, but it's okay.
Most things I eat are terrified and useless, so it makes sense. I feel like this logic is understandable.
I'm sorry that had to happen to you, Pollen. That must not have been a fun time. But
No,
I'm
it
sure,
wasn't.
I think next time it'll be somebody else's turn to get eaten first. And I look around, I'm like, I mean, odds are it won't be you again, right? Has this happened to you before?
Well, like there was some close calls, but that's a different story.
All right. I
I'm
got
just, yeah, I don't know. I'm just so appetizing. I don't know.
you. Are just a snack, Pollen. That's not a short joke either.
I think it's time to go.
Let's go. I'm scared. Okay.
Like
Yeah, we see our party stepping out onto the vast steppes of Nomengard, leaving the vast city behind them.
wait. Where's Kalik? What is
here.
he doing?
He's here. He's with
Okay.
Dead.
Hey, like, here's your mask. Thank you for letting me.
we
you.
can't
Kayla
forget
and
the guy.
Sean are with you.
Okay.
They're leaving Nomengard behind at your side. The road lays before you. It stretches to Phandalin and to Umbridge Hill on the way. You guys do have another quest in your list to deal with saving somebody you left behind. That,
We need to
if you
cash
recall.
in on some XP.
Yeah. So is it
Do we
Phandalin?
level
then?
up now, or do we have to go back to
You
Phandalin
must
to
turn
look up?
in the quest.
We have to turn
level.
it in, yeah.
Oh, I say we do that then.
Okay.
If that doppelganger showed up again, we might have a little bit of trouble if we ain't level 3 yet.
Yeah.
So,
I
Guys,
need
now-
multi-attack really bad.
Sneeze now, instead of playing the drums, has put the drums in Piper's bag and now plays the spoons that he looted the silverware from
Oh my
love it.
god! You
We
mean
hear-
knives? He plays the knife.
No,
We
he plays
hear-
the spoons. He does not play knives. He's not.
we hear that music. Yeah, I think we hear that music echoing from our party as we get sort of a silhouette of them. You are all surrounding a wagon carrying a fairly large arcane cannon, about the size of like a ship's cannon kind of situation. And it's aboard a single wagon being carried by a mule. You've been instructed to return to Barthen at Barthen's Provisions. Yeah, you guys make your way peacefully back over the land. Umbrage Hill seen in the distance, but for another day. And you return to Phandalin. You are able to turn in the quest to the Herald of the Mayor, who is usually just a different person every day. There is a request for the Hat of Wizardry, though you don't have to give it up. It's just a request.
What do they want with the hat?
Harbin Wester has personal interest in the hat.
What is he willing to offer for the hat?
Nothing. He just wants to know if you will give it to
Stuck
him.
on his nothing until he can offer a reasonable exchange. This is not a socialist society. This is a capitalist venture we're doing here.
All right, the Herald does not fight you on it. It says, "I'll just tell the mayor. I'll just tell the mayor you don't want to give him that." And yeah, you bring the arcane cannon into town. It is well received by the people. There is a breath of I think relaxation, or what's the word, of relief that there is at last some form of defense brought from Nomengard. And in bringing the cannon, you have completed the quest. You receive as a party a certain amount of gold pieces here. I need to quick check and see how much that is.
Get some gold that I can take from her later.
Let's see
Oh
here.
my god.
I'm so broke.
Phandalin quests. Here we go. How much was the gnome one here? Starting
I think it was 80 per
50
person.
gold pieces overall total. Yep, you all get 50 gold
Okay.
pieces for the Nomengard quest.
5 ways.
5 ways that splits to 10.
That splits to
Yeah.
10, so everybody gets
Just Kalec-
10.
Kalec
I'll
will
put
get 10.
I'll put 10 on Kalec's sheet so that he's got it. And then everybody is level 3. You will also notice that there are new quests on the board, which we will get to next time we play.
Hell yeah. I'm so excited.
Very,
Hell
very
yeah.
cool. All right, that is our adventure for the evening. Thank you to those over on YouTube who are hanging out with us this evening or morning, noon, or night, wherever you are. Thank you. Thank you for hanging out, and thank you guys for coming to play games with me on this lovely Wednesday evening. We will see you again in the future for some more Dungeons and Dragons. So take care. Bye bye.
Bye.